And so they'd take somebody, like a known person, and put a picture up on them and show like how their the slope of their jaw or their Adam's apple or their shoulders. And he accused me of having been a woman. And I'm like, and this is the picture, literally using the picture of me on the day I felt the best about my body. Beach Body 2025, Paige, Dorian Productions. Welcome back. By the way, welcome back. You're on the American Glutton podcast every week. So yeah, welcome back. Great to see you. It's been 5 days. Woo!
Hey, I appreciate the welcome. Anything I can do to get a little like someone's enthusiastic that I'm here, I'm here for that. Thank you very much. It boosts me every time you say it. But yes, I am on the end asking you a question from the listeners every week, and
every week.
Always.
Paige. It's spring. I think it's officially spring. It's probably been officially spring for like 6 weeks. Right? But
as you get older, every day is the same. But yes, okay.
Yes, but along with global warming, my life seems to be nothing but colder. Wherever I go, it just is typically colder.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's because ice sheets are I don't know why, but it's like latent, right? It's a bit nippy or nipply outside. Yeah. Anyway, fucking summer's coming, bro. Beach Body 2025. What are you doing? Let's get the fucking suns out, guns out. You know what I mean? We got to be prepared. We're taking our shirts off on the sand this summer, dude.
So I'm trying to get my 8-pack just tightened up a little bit. I'm trying to be able to wear a smaller bikini. And if you know me, you know how much I love a bikini.
You are going to weave a bikini out of 2 pieces of dental floss. That is exactly how big it's going to be.
I don't know if anyone knows, but I am pure muscle. I am pure muscle. You've seen those bodybuilder photos of women that are just like super shred and winning contests. That is actually me. I just don't like to talk about it. Oh my God. Could you imagine? No, but here's the thing. We are, as you're pointing out, we are inundated now all of a sudden in May with ads for Summer Body and Get Shred. What are we supposed to do with this?
30-day shred, dude. We're going to fucking shred some gnarl on the rip curls and all of that nonsense. Catching some waves. But first you got to shred the bod. You shred the fat and then you shred the gnarl out in Zuma, bro. That's where I fucking grew up, with fucking dudes with long blonde hair that was sun-kissed year round. They had a tan and they were out there fucking ripping shit. So first we got to rip the body. We got to do a 30-day shred. Get on my level, Paige. What are we doing? Are we going to do, I've heard there's a big new thing. It's trending, a sugar fast. All you do is eat sugar all day long. I cannot believe this is what they're going for now.
No, that's not real.
Yeah, it's real. I mean, unless Mark Bell is playing the most elaborate long-term hoax joke game he's ever played, he was a high-fat guy. In fact, I should probably go on his show or have him on mine so I fully understand what he's doing. But he is saying he's doing a sugar fast where all he eats is sugar.
That's first of all just called being unhinged. But second of all, or that's just welcome to my typical day. I'm so confused. How is that supposed to help anything? Are we shocking our body? Like what? I mean, I guess we don't know. We need to talk to him about it.
I don't totally understand it. Apparently you have energy throughout the day. Anyway, it's one of these extreme things.
Can you get a beach body in 30 days?
Well, I mean, okay, that's like, we're taking it down to let's be serious here for a second.
Sure.
I think if you can get a body that you're thoroughly proud of in 30 days, where you're like, God damn, look at me. you're either a sociopath or like you don't really need to even be concerned about your body. Like if
Well,
you're
yeah.
30 days out at all times, if you just roll in, like you had no big, New Year's resolution, you're just like, I'm doing great. I'm going to keep doing great. And then spring hits and we're into spring a bit. And you're like, it's getting warm. And in about a month, I'm going to want to go to the beach and take my shirt off and show off all glistening 8 abs. Yeah, fuck you. You go do your shred, go eat your sugar or do the Hollywood diet or whatever you're going to do. But like, there's no such thing. That's like not existent for me. First of all, because I feel like in my entire life, I've felt proud of my body for exactly one day, and that was, preparing for a photo shoot where I did like a proper bodybuilder cut, which is only meant to get you through a day. Like it's not something that lasts. You don't wake up the next day after you do the photo shoot or you stand on stage and look the same. I gained 9 pounds over the course of the photo shoot, and I didn't consume 9 pounds, which I know sounds impossible and probably is, but somehow my few sips of Gatorade and the banana I ate, the difference between my morning weight and my post photo shoot weight was 9 pounds, which was like tragically depressing. Because I feel like I was taking on weight just through osmosis, just through the ether of oxygen, I remember once I was doing a diet, and so I'd get on a scale. I was very heavy. I don't know exactly how heavy I was because my scale went to 350, but it was one of those, not digital. What's the other word? Starts with an A. Analog? It was an analog scale. So it was like a spring, and it had an arrow, and the arrow would go to 350, and I would get on the scale and it would leap past 350 and go all the way back up to like 80. And in my head, I would go like, okay, well, the distance between 350 and 0 is, and I would do all these measurements like, on the scale, that amount of distance equals 50 pounds. So I'm 480 pounds, And I remember the first diet I really did that Brandy put me on, which was a liquid fast. I remember getting on that scale and trying to exhale my way to a lower weight. Oh. I was like, first of all, you get on it, and I'm so heavy that it's not ever landing at a number and just staying there, right? It's not like a digital scale where if you don't move for 30 seconds, it will just stop blinking different numbers at you. The fucking needle is constantly moving. And I remember very distinctly going like, oh, if I just breathe out, the number will be lower. And so I would like exhale and try to hold my breath, which is surprisingly hard to do. I've found for me, I can take a deep breath and hold it, but exhaling and holding my breath is hard.
Yes.
And I don't think it had any effect on the scale whatsoever, which was disappointing.
God damn. Yeah. Okay. So we're in this place where you have people that are, let's talk about the person who maybe not unlike myself at so many times in my life is like, oh man, here comes the summer, right? I'm going to be in less clothing. I'm going to be in different it's way easier to put on a sweater with your jeans and cover some things you're not super excited about on your body than it is in a t-shirt because it's hot outside, right?
Yeah. So, plus, if you think about this, we larger people are carrying around what I always thought of as insulation, and it's not protecting us from the heat like how a smart home will keep the home cool in the summer. It's just fucking hot. It's like wearing an extra layer of clothes that's actually flesh.
Yeah. So you're like, okay, I'm going to be outside more, most likely. It's going to be hotter. I'm going to be in less, forgiving clothing. Like, oh no, here comes the summer is something that I've seen people write in about. I personally experienced it myself. It's like, so then, yeah, maybe someone is a little desperate. They go to, what am I going to do to lose weight real quick for the summer and get my son? It's, first of all the stuff of like shred and this and that is pretty unrelatable, right?
Right. It's just not for us.
It
is not for us. Yeah.
No. And I don't think it's for the people that are tuning in here. I mean, I'm not trying to say that maybe some people are like, yeah, I'm going to take it up a notch and I'm going on a vacation and all that. And I do want to, it's actually amazing and super admirable if someone is in the kind of shape where 30 days is just going to like take it to the next level. It's amazing, actually. But yeah, for those of us that are coming up on this time, like with a bit of fear or a bit of concern or like, oh, here we go again, or, all of that, like, what are we supposed to do? What is one supposed to do?
Okay, well, what I've learned, and for me, because I have had in the last, basically since I had self-awareness, I've had one day where I felt proud of my body. Mm-hmm. And I think self-awareness for me, and when I say self-awareness, I mean like awareness of my body in a way that it was something happened. So when I was 5, I went from like my body and I are one unit to somehow there's a problem with my body and it's not being described as a problem with me. So there's some separation between my body and I, and I can now be aware of my body as this separate thing that is still somehow me, like a very confusing thing, and feel embarrassed about my body. In the same way that I would be embarrassed if I said something wrong or made a faux pas, if the teacher called on me and said, what's 2 + 2? And I quickly raised my hand and said 6. And then felt embarrassed at my mistake. I'm feeling the same thing about my body, like it's a mistake, and something that needs to or can be corrected. But like so many years of that feeling, my desire now is just to like, how do I feel good about my body? Because I realized like no amount of dieting is really going to make me, I think I feel better about my body than I did when I was 500 plus pounds. Mm-hmm. I think walking around, I'm less self-conscious, but I'm still self-conscious. So like that thing still exists,
Yeah.
I can, today I put on the magical overhead light and turned off the awful straight on lights. And I was like, oh, I have abdominal definition, only 4, and so that's depressing. I'm taking a big L for not seeing 6 or 8 abs. But I'm saying like, that's fucking insane.
Yeah.
When I just had a giant stomach that hung over my pants, I had the same feeling, the exact same feeling of disappointment. Mm-hmm. And so my appeal to myself is, how do I just feel better about myself? Mm-hmm. And a lot of that has to do with, I went to the gym. That's a kindness to myself. I ate healthy food, and healthy is totally subjective, but like I have a plan that's a very long-term plan that is correct for me, that keeps me moving in the direction I want to be moving in, which is the opposite of just the total like state of giving up and not caring and just eating for emotional reasons, which always makes me feel terrible, physically and mentally. And so sometimes there's this longing or desire for types of foods. And when I give into that, I don't feel great. I feel guilty and shame. And when I have a plan of like, no, I'm going to get a certain amount of protein and a certain amount of fiber, and I'm going to limit my carbs and fats. And, I'm not going to give in to the fact that there's a new Cane's chicken, a mile from my house that I ride my bike by every single day, and it whispers to me like, come on in. You don't have to pig out. Just have, the smallest order, and that's okay. Have one piece of Texas toast. Have one side of sauce. It's gonna be okay. And like, yeah, fine. Maybe that's fine once, but like, I could fully get into the habit of going there every day and going like, well, what's 2 pieces of Texas toast, or what's a fucking small basket for 6 of Texas toast? Like, I can handle that. And then I'm back into the apathy of just like poisoning myself with food. So like, I would rather do like a daily affirmation and fake it until I make it, and just go, I'm going to feel better about myself, and I'm going to do things for myself, which are acts of kindness, not sabotage. And like, roll into summer going like, I recognize that even if I killed myself to get the perfect body or the best version of the body that I'm capable of getting, it only lasts a fucking day. Yeah. And that's not all summer. And so what do I do on the second day of beach day? I'm just miserable and like, God, I have to do it all over again so I can hit the last day of summer too and be miserable throughout the summer and like not participating in family events because I'm dieting and at the gym, or like spending every single moment of free time trying to recapture this one day of feeling like naturally good about my body. And then there's the other thing, like, maybe I didn't feel good about my body because it was aesthetically perfect. Maybe I felt good about my body because I set a goal and I achieved it. And so what if my goal is just to get on a plan that is a long-term strategy for health and well-being, and just start to get like good with the body that I have from day to day?
I love that so much, because it's taking it out of this like, God, it's so easy to be so hyper focused on just like how each part of your body looks, and like, my arm is flabby, or my this or my that, or I can feel my, it's so focused on, it's just so focused on the physical. Obviously we're here with our physical bodies. I'm not trying to get all spiritual. I'm just trying to say like, it just gets so micro. I don't know. And I just appreciate what you're saying. Cause yeah, it's taking it out of this like momentary, how this looks, to like long-term, as you say, a strategy, as you mentioned. Like, it's just taking it out of this moment and into like a bigger picture, which feels like it can be more rewarding, right? Than just like it, because every minute, if you're just like, oh, it doesn't look how I want it to look, or how I thought it would look, or how that guy next to me on the beach looks, or that girl in the gym in front of me looks, I can get so focused on how some girl looks in her workout clothes, and like, so yeah, it's just taking it into this like bigger picture, long-term thing, which I so appreciate. And that's what you always talk about with maintenance. And, it's like, it's just, I don't know. So then if we're talking about the summer bod.
Yeah. For me, it's a summer mindset.
Right. Oh, I like that.
Because the anything bod is really elusive to me. And when I think about like, if I'm only doing something for the reward of some materialistic result, it has proven time and again to be super elusive, or not, like you said, not what I thought it would be, not satisfactory in the way that I wanted it to be, not rewarding enough, and then ultimately not worth it, And so when I try to reframe it, I definitely feel better when I'm improving. When I'm making myself better, I feel better. I'm more positive. Now, there's been many times where I've been doing something that's totally unsustainable, and so that feeling of well-being, I become exhausted and just can't do it anymore. I used to love going on these epic bike rides, but like, the cost of it to the rest of my life was severe. And so after months of, doing just extreme things, not eating enough food, there would be moments in there where I'm like feeling a broader sense of well-being, but it collapsed. And so really right now it's like, how do I improve incrementally every day to have that sense of well-being within a structure that I can keep going, keep doing this, and increase it just by tiny little increments, so that I can keep going, so that it doesn't collapse. And so this sense of well-being and this sense of purpose and drive are maintainable. And like, be happy with that. The result is that feeling of well-being, in pursuit of improvement, rather than like, oh my God, I look so great, because that just doesn't fucking last. I swear to God, I had one day where I was like, I look great. And now even I can look at that picture and fully tear it apart of like being critical. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like, it wasn't that perfect. Look at all these problems. Loose skin around my legs, scar here. I could have bigger traps and bigger shoulders. And, there was something online. There's some craziness online where I don't even know. I don't understand Q at all. I don't understand a lot of these online conspiracies, but I think it was in that realm where somebody on Twitter, and I think this was prior to it becoming X, was accusing people of being transsexual.
Okay.
And so they'd take somebody, like a known person, and put a picture up on them and show like how they're, the slope of their jaw or their Adam's apple or their shoulders. And he accused me of having been a woman. And I'm like, and this is the picture, literally using the picture of me on the day I felt the best about my body. He's using that picture, and I'm saying maybe it was a girl, I don't know.
Sure.
The person, the anonymous account on Twitter, is using the picture, the day I felt best about my body, to say Ethan's actually transsexual and he was a woman, and you can tell by the slope of his shoulders. And I'm reading this and I'm going, yeah, I could have worked harder on my shoulders, like, that's the sicko I am.
Yeah. Wait, and let me just be clear. Transsexual, does that mean you were born one gender and you had a surgery to become another?
Yeah, I don't know that we use the word gender in that sense. So gender, yes, it gets very tricky. Gender, I believe the definition of gender are the general.
Well, that's how you identify.
Gender is like the social traits associated with sex. So lipstick is a gendered thing. Skirts in America are a gendered thing. Skirts in Scotland are non-gendered because men wear skirts. You see what I mean?
Yes,
so gender is what's associated typically with sex through culture. Mm-hmm. And so this guy was saying, I was born female and transitioned to male, and he could prove this by like literally taking this picture and showing the slope of my shoulder. And I'm reading this and going like, well, I know I wasn't born female, but goddamn, he's got a bit of a point about my feminine shoulders, Like that was so, and that's the best I've ever felt about myself.
Yeah.
And so it's a fucking elusive. It's all that shit is meaningless. And if you can get to a point where you actually love your body and feel great about, that's the goal. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think it's going to come through dieting. I just don't think it is. It didn't for me,
No, I some friends of mine, two of my close friends went on a vacation recently with a bunch of other people that are some people I know, but not like I wouldn't vacation with them. We're not that close. And I kept looking at the photos on Instagram, like, oh, they're having a good time. Oh, that's great. Oh, they're in like their cute little dresses and they're on a beach and like all this stuff. Right. And it was giving like summer vacation vibes. And I actually said to Brandy, why am I feeling sort of annoyed about these photos I'm seeing? It's so weird. I love all these girls are great. 2 are my close friends. I was like, what is it? She was like, oh, they're young and we're not doing that and this. And I was like, no, there's something else. And I realized it was like, they all looked amazing, great. They're in their swimsuits. They're in their, they just looked cute and like young and fun and happy, but like physically they all had makeup on and this and that. And I've been a bit out of that sort of mode. I can't remember. I mean, of course I'm putting on makeup if I'm going out. I'm just don't remember the last time I was like on a girl trip trying to look cute. And it got me like, oh man, here comes the summer. Here comes the blah. Everyone's in their cute little dresses and their thing. And it really kind of got me for a minute. Like, oh, here we go again. Right.
Yeah.
And
the protective outer layer of clothing that you and I like to wear will soon just be marks of us being terrorists,
Yeah. And I'm not even in the worst place I've ever been. I'm like, I'm feeling fine, but I could always be doing better, right? Like on eating and more exercise and all that stuff. As a side note, your wife said to me, because, I can go days without exercising and just be behind my computer and working. And she said, I don't care what picture you have to conjure up in your mind. It's not about being thin. It's long-term health and wellness. And you're the one talking about wanting to live this long life. She's like, I don't care what picture it is. Is it your dad when he was older and nearly immobile because he didn't take care of himself? Is it this? Is it that? I don't care what you have to come up with, but you need to walk. You need to get out and walk. And I was like, okay. And then I got kind of detailed on the image of my dad. And she was like, I don't need to know all that. But anyway, that's a side note, but that's Brandy's, how she motivates me. But yeah, so here we are and we're at that summer. So are you saying that one should not, it's like, let's take these wins every day. Let's look at the mindset of here we are in the summer, but it's here we are every day of our lives.
Well, I'm saying like, I want to have a summer. Look, dude, America is fat. So like, if you're fat, you're not the minority. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if you're fat and you feel self-conscious or like it's holding you back or like you're not living your best life because of it, great. Start to do some self-improvement, and try to feel better about yourself through that. But if it's something where you're like, I'm going to get ripped for the summer in the next 30 days, I'm just saying like, are you really? Like, how ripped are you right now if you can totally change how you look in 30 days? Have you ever seen what bodybuilders look like 30 days before? You can go on like people who really understand bodybuilding. And I'm not talking about the fucking monsters, the gigantic guys that look like they're wearing Teenage Mutant Ninja shells under their skin. I'm talking about just like the guys who wear swim trunks and have like what we would say is a good physique. 30 days before, they look great. Yeah. But they're talking about how fat and out of shape they are, or how they're starting their cut and they got to lose all this fat and like get all the water out of it. I'm just saying, like, if you're one of those guys, then what do you even do? Like, okay, great. You're going to lose 5 or 10 pounds in 30 days and look ridiculous, but it's not even going to last. So my plea to myself is I just want to have a fun summer and not feel shitty about myself. Yeah. I want to go and do all the things that fear and like the apprehension of external judgment from fucking people I don't even know, like this random guy on Twitter who was calling me a chick. Like, who cares? You know, that guy's judging my shoulders. I'd be willing to bet my shoulders are bigger than his. And him saying it led me to agree with him. Like I could have bigger shoulders, which is so stupid.
I know.
I feel better when I'm improving. And if I'm improving, I want to feel good about myself. That's all. There's not going to be some magical body or some magical weight that I get to that's going to take all of my self-loathing away. Mm-hmm. So I need to start getting rid of it now. And I'm going to do a 30-day shred of like, but it's of like my negative garbage talk, so that when my kids, by the way, Clementine wears those dental floss bikinis, and they make me so uncomfortable. And I'm just like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And by the way, she walks to the gym in New York in like shorts that you would see in some, like, I don't know if it would be like Do the Right Thing with the most cartoonish character with a big butt who's like so self-confident, and Clementine is that person. And it makes me simultaneously uncomfortable and like, great, good for you, happy to walk out of the house in underwear, if you're confident enough to do that.
Yeah.
But like, I'm so happy that people feel good about their bodies. I wish I felt good about my body. I want to feel better about my body. And I think everybody should feel better about their body. This is not to say like the healthy at every size people who are like demanding fat acceptance and demanding that nobody tries to improve themselves are correct, because I think that's a dangerous place to be, and I don't think that's joyful. Now, if you've gone like, no, I'm happy with my body, and fuck you if you're not happy with my body, and I'm going to live my best life, good, go live it. I would rather people felt good about themselves than the way I feel about myself. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, so in a way, it's like, I mean, I'm kind of taking what you're saying as a bit of a challenge, dare I say the word, but to like,
let's do a 30-day shred of our negative self-talk. Let's roll into the summer. You and me, Paige, I challenge you. We're going to go to the beach. We're not going to be glued to our towels for fear of eyes watching us walk across the beach to frolic in the sand with our friends. We're going to feel proud and happy, and we're going to get involved with other people, and we're going to do activities, and we're not going to have to be terrorists or Hamas wearing baggy sweatshirts in public when it's too hot because we've got, dynamite strapped to our chest. I saw 3 kids in the subway the other day, and it was very hot, and they all had hoodies on. And I'm not going to lie, I was like, are you Hamas? That's what I was thinking. Are you guys like, why do you have to have those sweaters on? Do you have weapons under there? What's going on here? Are you going to try to mug my granddaughter for her lollipop? I will try and stop you. It could go bad because there's 3 of you, it was scary, but like, I'm also that person who wears a baggy hoodie sweatshirt in a hot day. And then when Brandy's like, it's hot, take your sweater off, I get like, no, you don't tell me to take my sweater off. I don't want to take it off. I'm sweating on purpose, like, that's so stupid.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to accept your challenge, and I'm going to work every day. I'm not going to get it all done in one day. I know myself, but I'm going to work every day to push the negative thoughts away, to do the plan I'm on, and to enjoy the summer, and to enjoy, I mean, you guys are going to, dare I say, possibly be in town some of the summer. I want to enjoy you guys being here. I don't want to feel self-conscious. It's the self, like, just having your like focus so into you, and then you can't like look out, and you can't be around and enjoy the people you're with, the beautiful place you're at, or even if it's not a beautiful place, whatever, you don't have to be on a beach, right? It's just like work on being in the moment and being with the people that are making you happy. Cause I'll just get introverted.
And honestly, it's easiest for me when I am working towards self-improvement. When I'm doing anything that makes me better. You know, there's a version of me that's like, I'm going to cast off all responsibility. You know, let's charter a jet to Vegas and just eat at the buffet and get drunk and do lots of drugs. That version exists. And there is bursts of joy within that of like, you know, dropping the Amex, maxing it out. There's no limit. So that's got to be a big figure when you max it out. And going like, I don't care. I'm letting my hair down. Let's mainline, you know, Poppy Steak. Have you seen Poppy Steak in Las Vegas?
No.
So it's like a hybrid nightclub steakhouse where you order the $5,000 steak and girls in bikinis with sparklers come out and they play a special song and they like lift a briefcase that's got gold lights from inside of it and it's all smoky and a fucking steak is in there that's got like gold leaf on it. And I know that this exists. So let's go do that. Then, you know, get a bunch of drugs and just not care. Okay, maybe there's bursts of happiness in there, but Monday morning sucks. So I'm saying let's work on self-positivity and let's work on Monday morning feeling like I did something great. Monday morning is a piece of cake because I worked hard. I achieved stuff. I improved and I can keep improving. I'm not exhausted. I'm not harming myself. I'm not trying to harm myself well. I'm not trying to murder myself in the gym, but I'm working out. I'm eating well. I'm feeling good. I've got energy and I'm ready to go and I feel good about myself. You know, it's like it's very symbiotic. Each thing feeds into the next. But this idea of like, I got 30 days to get the perfect beach body. Like, okay, all right, V-Shred, you know, sell your supplements, bro.
Okay. Yes, I'm with you. I'm taking this inspiration and I'm putting it into action. I love it. I love it.
I'll see you on the beach, Paige.
Yeah, you will.
Or by the pool, or, you know, just walking down Ventura, strolling, feeling good about ourselves.
Yeah.
Not worried about what the people sitting at Jones on 3rd think of us, you know?
Yeah. 100%. Okay. I love this. Thank you for this summer inspo, summer mindset.
Summer mindset.
Really
30-day shred the negativity.
Yeah. I'm in.